The Young and the Restless, spoilers, preview week of June 8 to 1, 22026. Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is Thursday, a beautiful day to dive deep into the absolute chaos that is Genoa City. Grab a huge cup of coffee and get comfortable, because we have a massive episode to unpack today, and we are not holding anything back. Let's get right into the madness. So I am honestly just exhausted. Like, physically and mentally exhausted from watching this Victor and Phyllis war drag on for what feels like an absolute eternity. And I know you guys are too. If I see one more angry confrontation in a corporate office, I might scream. It feels like we have been talking about Summers Conglomerate and Newman Enterprises for actual years at this point. But today, the June 4th episode, it finally happened. The big climax. The moment we've been waiting for, or maybe dreading, depending on whose side you are on. Victor Newman finally got his precious company back. He got Newman Enterprises back in his hands, restoring it to the family. But the way he did it, the way this whole thing played out on screen, it is just so messy. So incredibly, frustratingly messy. Let's just rewind for a second, because we really have to put this in context to understand why today's episode felt so heavy. Remember back in April, when Victor just completely went scorched earth? He bought out all of Phyllis's staff. He literally had her entire executive team quit via email in one single day. Just boom, gone. And then he used that crazy new AI program to generate fake evidence that Phyllis, Billy, and Kane acquired the company illegally. I mean, let's be real. The AI plotline was wild. It was so soapy and ridiculous, but also terrifyingly Victor. He just fabricated a federal crime, basically to force her hand. And for weeks, for months really, he has been pushing this narrative. He has been standing there in his expensive suits, looking down his nose at everyone, insisting Phyllis was a criminal mastermind who stole his legacy. But here is the thing. Here is the absolute kicker of the June 4 episode that I am still trying to wrap my head around. In order to actually get the company back, Victor had to admit the truth. He had to stand there and admit that the evidence was fake. He had to validate Phyllis. And I can't believe we actually saw that happen on daytime television. Victor Newman admitting he fabricated evidence? Admitting he was wrong? Or at least admitting he played dirty? I mean, we all know he plays dirty. The whole town knows he plays dirty. The viewers have known it for decades. But for him to actually have to say it out loud, officially, as part of the deal to get Phyllis to sign over the company, that is huge. That is a massive shift in the power dynamic, even if he walked away with the ultimate prize. So, let's break down the actual scene, because it was honestly kind of brilliant, even if the storyline leading up to it frustrated me to no end. Phyllis is backed into a corner. She has absolutely nothing left. Her staff is gone, her resources are depleted, the walls are closing in on her from every single side. Christine is threatening her. Everyone is abandoning ship. She knows she can't beat Victor's unlimited money and his absolute willingness to break every single law in the book. So she agrees to give it up. She agrees to hand back Newman Enterprises. But she refuses to do it while holding the bag for a crime she didn't commit. She basically tells him, fine, you win. You get the building, you get the name, you get the legacy, but you have to clear my name right now. You have to admit the AI evidence was a total sham. And Victor, oh man, the look on Eric Braden's face in that moment. You could practically see the gears turning in Victor's head. He hates her. He absolutely despises Phyllis Summers. But he loves Newman Enterprises more. He always has. His ego is entirely tied to that company and that name on the wall. So he makes the calculation. He realizes that the only way to get what he wants is to give her this one agonizing concession. He admits it. He admits the evidence was faked. He clears her name. And in doing so, he basically proves that Phyllis was right all along. She was telling the truth for months while everyone looked at her like she was a paranoid lunatic. But does it even matter? That's what I keep asking myself while typing this. Does it matter that Phyllis was right if she still lost the company at the end of the day? I guess it matters to her. It definitely matters to her pride. She gets to walk away knowing she didn't actually lose the game fairly. She was just out-cheated by the undisputed master of cheating. But Victor still gets to sit in the big chair. He still gets to put the Newman name back on the door. It's this weird, hollow victory for both of them. Victor wins the war, but he has this incredibly ugly stain on the victory. Phyllis loses the war, but she gets to keep her dignity. Well, as much dignity as Phyllis can ever really have. Maybe I'm being too harsh on her. Okay, yeah, she's done terrible things too. She's no saint. But in this specific instance, she was the victim of Victor's massive God complex. And then we have Michael Baldwin. Oh, poor, tired, stressed out Michael Baldwin. Let's talk about Michael for a minute because his reaction in this episode was everything. Remember back in April when Victor forced Michael to choose? Victor basically threatened Michael, telling him to warn Lauren to back off, putting Michael right in the middle of his oldest loyalty to Victor and his loyalty to his wife and her boss. Michael has been sweating bullets for months. He has been trapped in the ultimate lose-lose situation. And now, he has to watch Victor just casually admit that he faked evidence to win. Michael is a lawyer. He's an officer of the court. And he's just standing there, watching his boss admit to massive fraud, extortion, and digital forgery. You can see the absolute disgust and pure exhaustion in Michael's eyes during that scene. He is questioning everything. He is questioning his methods, his loyalty, his entire life choices. Why does he keep working for this man? Honestly, why? Victor crosses lines that no one else would even approach, and he expects everyone around him to just nod, smile, and clean up the legal mess. Michael and Nick are both just looking at Victor like he's an alien in this episode. They are seeing the true, unfiltered ruthlessness of Victor Newman, and even though they've seen it a million times before, this time it just hits different. It feels so much more cynical. Victor didn't win because he was a better businessman. He won because he tortured a woman until she broke. Speaking of Nick, let's talk about Nick Newman for a second, because his presence in this storyline adds such a dark layer to it. Nick is already going through absolute hell right now. If you guys remember the Vegas stuff from May, Nick hitting rock bottom, the addiction issues, being a literal drug toy for Matt Clark in an abandoned gas station while Sharon and Noah had to watch in terror, Adam had to make cold, cruel moves just to keep Nick alive. Nick is completely broken right now. He is a traumatized, broken man trying to put his life back together. And now he looks at his father and he sees this. He sees Victor using AI to frame a woman, destroying lives just to get a corporate logo back. Nick's reaction to Victor's methods is just pure, heavy disappointment. But it's not even loud anger anymore. It's not the screaming matches they used to have. It's just this quiet, exhausted realization that his father will never, ever change. Nick and Michael are basically the audience right now. We are all Nick and Michael. We are all just standing on the sidelines, watching Victor bulldoze through morality and the law, and we're just too tired to even yell about it anymore. Nick knows that Victor's victory is dirty. He knows that getting Newman Enterprises back this way taints the whole legacy. What is the point of a family legacy if it's built on blackmail and fake evidence? Nick is struggling with his own massive demons, his own dark side. And seeing his father embrace the darkness so casually, it's got to be messing with his head even more. Let's go back to Phyllis for a second. What does she do now? Where does she even go from here? She's been completely stripped of her power. Summer's conglomerate is gone. The staff is gone. The assets are gone. But she has this public vindication. She has Victor's admission. Knowing Phyllis, she is not just going to take this and go quietly into the night. She is going to use this. She is going to weaponize the fact that Victor admitted to faking evidence. Because even if he got the company, he just handed her a loaded gun. If she can prove he admitted it, or if she recorded it, or if she just uses the court of public opinion, she can still cause massive damage to his reputation. Or maybe she won't. Maybe she's just as tired as we are. Honestly, sometimes I think the writers just want to hit the reset button on everything. They wanted Newman back in Victor's hands because that's the natural order of the universe on this show. The universe is completely out of balance when Victor isn't sitting behind that massive desk pulling strings. So they created this convoluted, high-tech AI plot to get us there, and now they are just sweeping it away with a forced admission and a signed contract. It's clunky. It really is. The pacing of this whole storyline has been so weird. We spent months on the build-up, the staff quitting, the threats from Christine, the absolute panic from Lauren and Daniel, and then it just ends with a tense conversation and a signature. But that's daytime TV for you, right? We complain, we rant, we say it makes no sense, but we still tune in the next day. Because I need to see what Victor does next. I need to see if Nikki is going to say anything about this. Nikki is busy running around with Jack Abbott trying to plot a totally new attack against Victor anyway, which is a whole other mess that is making Diane absolutely furious. But how is Nikki going to react to Victor officially crossing this legal line? Probably she'll just sigh, roll her eyes, and pour a drink. That's what everyone in Genoa City does when Victor goes too far. They drink and they complain, but nobody actually stops him. The biggest takeaway from the June 4 episode isn't that Victor won. It's how he won and what it cost him in terms of respect from the people who actually still care about him. Michael is doubting him. Nick is doubting him. Phyllis is vindicated. Victor is sitting in his big office, surrounded by the walls of Newman Enterprises. But he is kind of alone in his victory. He proved he is the biggest, baddest wolf in the forest, but he also proved that he is entirely devoid of a moral compass when he wants something badly enough. And yeah, we knew that. We all knew that. But seeing it play out this starkly, seeing him forced to admit that Phyllis was right all along, it's a bitter pill to swallow. I mean, think about the broader implications here. What does this teach the younger generation? Noah just survived a hostage situation in Vegas. Claire is trying to build a normal life with Holden. And the patriarch of the family is out here faking digital evidence. It just makes you wonder who actually believes this is going to end well for the Newman family soul. Victor got his building back, but at what cost? He pushed until Phyllis broke, not because he had the truth on his side, but because he had more stamina for cruelty. I guess we just have to wait and see how the fallout happens. Because there is always fallout. You don't just fake federal evidence, blackmail a CEO, force your lawyer into a massive ethical crisis, alienate your traumatized recovering addict son, and then just go back to business as usual. Well, actually maybe Victor does. Maybe that's exactly what he does. But I hope not. I hope Michael actually stands up to him for once. I hope Nick uses this as a reason to distance himself and focus on his own recovery without his father's toxic shadow. And I really, really hope Phyllis takes a vacation, regroups, and comes back with a plan that doesn't involve getting crushed by the mustache again. Anyway, I am completely rambling now. My brain is fried from typing all this out. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode in the comments. Were you happy Victor got the company back? Do you feel bad for Phyllis? Or do you think she got what she deserved after everything she's done over the years? And seriously, what is Michael Baldwin going to do now that he knows for a fact his boss is a fraud? I need to go lie down and process all of this. I'll see you guys in the next update.